Good morning, kiddos. We are talking about rounding again today, and you'll remember that we did a lot of rounding practice in our fractions foundations unit, and we are going to practice again, and I'm going to go over those fraction rule with you, and I want you to pay close attention to the directions. 1 through 3, it says round to the nearest whole number, and numbers 4 through 6, it says round to the nearest tenth. And then 7 through 9, round to the nearest hundredth. And that is absolutely important when you're doing this, because you need to know which number is to the right of the number you are rounding to, because that's going to tell you whether you round up or round down. And we are going to go ahead and I'm going to pull in our place value chart for a refresher. Here's our place value chart at the top, and I'm going to go ahead and work through a couple of examples with you. Number 1 says 8 and 36 hundredths, and we need to round 8 and 36 hundredths to the nearest whole number. Okay, so that means we check our whole number. This is the number, our whole number, that's the one that we're rounding, and it's in the ones place. Okay, we are going to use the number immediately to the right of the number we are rounding, and that is what's going to tell us if we round up or we round down. If we round this up, it has to be the number 5 or greater, and if we round down, it needs to be less than 5. Well, this number is 3, so it's less than 5, so we're going to round down, and if we rounded down, it's just 8. If we were to round up, it would have been 9. Okay, so number 1, rounded to the nearest whole number, your answer is 8. We're going to go ahead and look at rounding to the nearest tenth, and we need to make sure we know where the tenths place is, and we'll take the first one, and it's 24 and 316 thousandths, and you can see I lined it up with our chart. We need to round to the nearest tenth. So the number that we're rounding is the tenths, so that's our 3. And the number immediately to the right of the 3 is what tells us round up or down. If this number is 5 or greater, we round up to 4. If it's 4 or lower, 4 or less, we round down to 3. And so this answer is 24 and 3/10, because we're rounding to the nearest tenth. 24 and 3/10. If we move down to 7 through 10, we'll take number 7, and it reads 58 and 635 thousandths. 635 thousandths. And you can see I wrote each in the correct spot on our place value chart. This one we're rounding to the nearest hundredth. The directions tell us the nearest hundredth. So we identify the number that's in the hundredths place, and we can see that that's 3. Then we look for the number immediately to the right, which is 5. If it's 5 or greater, we round up to 4, and if it's 4 or lower, we round down to 3. So our answer here is 58 and 64 hundredths, because 5 is 5 or greater, so we round up. So 58 and 64 hundredths. We are using our estimation skills, which we also practiced in our foundations unit, to estimate the sum or the difference. And when we have sum, remember that means add, and when we see difference, it means subtract. So make sure you pay attention to the signs on 10, 11, and 12. And you're going to estimate to the nearest whole number, and what that would mean would be like number 10, you'd estimate to the nearest dollar. So number 10, the first number, $46.78, you'd round that to $47, minus $18.55, and you'd round that up to $19. Remember, these are real life skills that you'll use when shopping oftentimes, or when you have a budget when you're shopping and making your grocery lists, and as you work your way through the store, estimating can help you stay within your budget. So rounding or estimating, you can go ahead and round those numbers up to the nearest whole number, and then do your either addition or subtraction, finding the sum or the difference. On your story problems today, 13 through 15, you're using rounding again, and number 16, you are using estimation. Your place value chart here at the top will help guide you through some of that, especially the estimation when you're trying to figure out if this person can buy a book for $15.25 and a book for $4.85 and pay with a $20 bill. So you have to see, is it reasonable first? Could he do it? Does he have enough money? Use estimation to decide if it's reasonable or not. And remember, when you're rounding with money, you can round to the nearest dollar. So number 16, when you're estimating, you want to take your $15.25 and you're going to round that to 15. And you're going to take your $4.85 and round that up to $5, and there it seems like it would be reasonable. But if you actually do the math and check if it's reasonable, you're going to see that you're going to get something a little bit different. So make sure you pay attention, solve the problem, and explain to me why estimation would or would not work and where you would have to round. It wouldn't be the nearest dollar in number 16. When you're finished, take a picture of your work, please, attach it to the assignment, and turn it in on Teams. Thank you.